this is a sample credit report, and what I want you to do is, there's some numbers on there from 1 to 12. Those are the numbers that I'm going to write down and go over in the section of your credit file. So write on a piece of paper from 1 to 12 if you're taking notes. I'm going to go over each section. Your credit file, unless you give them permission. There are pulling your credit and you have no idea. If you get a personal loan, you should know, you fill out that application that day, what your score is. There's no reason for us to be going, inside these banks, not going on pins and needles, if we're going to get approved or not. We should know what our score is before we apply. Okay? Right, understanding predatory lenders, who they are, what companies. This is to make sure that the information is accurate. Okay? And there's procedures involved. This section, what we want to be looking for, this is if you want to correct your file or rebuild your file, we've got to get all those names that are in there deleted that's not you. Okay? Addresses that don't belong to you, we need to get those corrected, updated. You can do a dispute for that. Okay? We want to make sure everything, and they're supposed to give you proof of that investigation. And you had no idea, and that's what's dragging your score down. Okay? So that's section 11. Section 12 is the creditor section of your file. This is where you need to call them when you write them. This is the area where you find that information. Okay? You want to get in the habit. The thing about this section is that you want to make sure you don't have no more than 2 accounts in this section. If you do, you want to start a debt plan, trying to eliminate any type of bills that are in this section that you want to pay off. Because the credit score takes into consideration how many accounts that are open with balances in this section. Okay? So we want to try to make sure we're always under 3. I've done it for myself. Okay? But this is actually me, and this right here is 8 collections that are on my file. And I wrote and I talked to the company. The company's actually here in Orlando. Alright? And I threatened to sue him and the hospital if they didn't get that crap on my file. Okay? But this is it. This is what you want to get them, you want to get them to write and give you this stuff. What this is a copy of them telling me they're going to delete it from my file. This is actually the 8 accounts that I got deleted off my file. So I wanted to show you what happens when the debt collector sent. This is what they sent to the credit bureaus. This is what you want. You want to have a record of it. Pass that around. Those are medical bills, and I teach a whole workshop on medical bills because a lot of people do so much. But that's actually 8 bills that they payments. You want to look for the red flag that may not be correct about that account, so we can get it updated to credit bills. Okay? Rebuild and maintain. I wanted to touch on that real estate one more time about the formula. In the formula and what you need to do, little things to get that score. It's not going back and paying old stuff. So if you've got balances in the revolving section and you're trying to get those 10 or 20 points, that's where you want to start. 30 day, you have a 60 day, you have a 90 day, then it keeps going up to 120, 150, and 180, and it goes to collection. Okay? Each time you're late, you get D on your credit report. And what's so crazy about the credit formula is that one ding or 130 day affects you for 7 years. Last page. This gentleman came to me in 2006, and he had a bankruptcy. I believe it was from 1990 on that report? 1990. Okay? He came to me thinking he had bad credit. Now this is 2006. So I told him the main thing that was wrong with his file was he had old, outdated information. It shouldn't be there because it's past the reporting time. Judgments are 7 to 10 years, depending on what it is. So that was well over his 10 years. That should have been off his file in 2000. So he got deemed thinking he has bad credit for 6 years. Okay? So this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about that we need to be looking for. they fall into the predatory lending. All right, we're going to focus on doing business in our community. If at all possible, try to do business with your community. Community bank, local credit unions. We want to try to avoid all those foreign companies or those lenders that are in California or Texas. The points are, if you don't have a house, you want to keep that in consideration because you're already missing that part of the formula for your percentage because you're not a homeowner. Does everybody understand that? What I typically find on credit reports in this section of the realtors section is that when companies refinance your accounts or they sell your, this book will tell you what you need to pay according to your balance to get points. So let me just give you an example of this book and then I'll pass it around. Page 81 is what I'm referring to. So say for example, we have a credit card that has a credit limit of $250. Okay? You want to get it down to 30%. So 30% of 250 I'm going to pass out this credit report and we're going to go over the sections of the credit report so you can understand what you're looking at when you get a copy of your credit card. The consumer statement. This one gets me a lot because a lot of people will write the life story about what happened to them in this section on why they didn't pay their bill. They had a car accident or accident, and the consumer statement is where you write that collection status that is not going to help your score. Okay, so that's the difference. Rebuilding your file, you do not pay debt collectors. Repairing, you do. Okay. 3 levels that I want you to write down if you're taking notes to credit. Okay, that's disputing. I'm going to go FCRA. All right, rebuilding, focusing on new accounts, starting over. That's what we want to do. We want to rebuild from new accounts. Okay, we're not doing this. We're not investing in ourselves. We are our biggest asset, us, you. You are your greatest asset. So you have to invest in yourself. And a part of that is getting your credit report, watching your credit report, and watching to see what's going on with it. Because it's your credit report. Debt collectors are pulling your credit. You have no idea that they're pulling it. And your scores are going down. So we've got to start maintaining our credit report. Just look at it as something like a bank account or a checking account. Something that you want to know what your score is. Okay, we're running a little bit behind schedule, so I'm going to try to do this as quick as I can so I can cover everything. But look at your objectives, and I'm going to tell you where we are right now. So we're going to go over that section. Says 720. Importance of monitoring your score. That's where we are right now. But I think we're about 10 minutes behind. I want to talk to you about the importance of monitoring your credit prior to applying for loans. Okay? This is really, really, really important because I get a lot of calls from my clients and people, and one of the things they tell me is that they only need 20 or 30 points to get the mortgage. And I'm listening to them and I'm saying, at what rate? You have a 540, you need 20 points to get a 560 to get approved for a house, at what rate? Okay? So predatory loans and predatory lenders. Okay? What I want you to take tonight from this class is interest rate. How much you're going to pay long term. Not short term, long term, okay? That's where credit will help you, okay? You want to get that score high as possible, okay? For example, if you want your interest rate to be 2% or 3%, will be truly unfair practices because a lot of companies will get on the radio, they will advertise in the newspaper, and they will target a specific type of group because they know that you're not educated. So So this is what happens. You get targeted for these rates, and then you get into these bad loans. And this is how many times you've been late on an account. Still on number 3, but your payment amount is a red flag because you got 3 payments there, and they all should be the same range. Okay. For example, if you have something that's 600, 650, or 630, that may be about right. But if you have something that says 600 or 1,000, 10,000, that's a red flag that you no longer are paying. And I see this a lot on car repossessions. This will affect your debt ratio when you go to apply for your house. Because what will happen is they're going to look at whatever that credit report puts out, that's what they're going to look at. That's what they're going by. So what we want to do is make sure that your payment amount, this is the amount of debt that you're paying monthly. That needs to be correct. Okay. On time with your bills. You're already behind. So you want to make sure if you're 30 days behind doing your car payment, or you're running behind, before you apply for that credit card or that monetary section, because that's the area that you're going to be working on. That's the area where the collection accounts are, the repossessions, all that old stuff that's considered derogatory. So we need to do any rebuilding on your file, we need to do something that you don't know about. Okay? And they'll report to the credit bureaus quick, fast, and in a hurry. So you gotta, like I said, you gotta know what's out there. You can't pay your bills if you don't even know you need a bill for something. Okay? But medical bills, it's a disaster with that. Okay, paying back debt on open accounts. A lot of times people ask me, what do they pay? Where do we start? The rule here is, if it's not an open account, like something that you're currently paying on, like a credit card or car payment or a house, those are open accounts. Those are accounts that you know are active. Anything that's not active, that you're not paying monthly, those are accounts that you do not want to pay. Okay?
3 months ago, and we've been working on my credit score. A couple of days ago, I received a letter from the credit union. I have like 3 to 4 things delete. I have 2 or 3 of them looking for. So it is working, and it is going to be a look for me in the future. And I am trying to get myself a property at home, and my goal is to get that.
The last part of last year, and I was referred by a friend to the the name of the company is financial consultant, and it has been really a great thing for me because I was just really lost and thinking I had to repay everything back. But when I got to know her and she started working, on the files and stuff, and getting things moved out of the files that I didn't even know was possible to be done. But, thank God for people like this. And so it's been about, January, it's been about 11 months, and now I see a tremendous difference. My credit scores has come up into the 7 or more, and I just thank God for that. And she's studying working with me to rebuild, and that is so important. I think, well, it was like in the low 500, say something, 6 something, and I can see a really 7. I think a few days ago, it was like 7.4, 7, something like that. And I haven't been in the 7s for years, because I was trying to, pay off stuff myself. But like I said, I thank God.